Good morning and welcome to Poetry Friday. My name is Father Frank Buckley, delighted to be your host for our meditation group, Flourishing During Times of Uncertainty. This is a three-part series. On Fridays, we focus a little on poetry, and today I will be returning to one of my all-time favorites, Sister Carol Bialek, for her poem, Breathing Underwater. Second part will be our meditation practice, where we turn the gaze inwards and give the first part of the morning to God. And then the third and final part will be a Jesuit examine, where we will look over this last week and just notice where God has shown up in new and beautiful ways. So if you're new, welcome. We are delighted you are here. It certainly helps to have a community to move forward with a morning contemplative practice. So let's begin. This poem I first read on the front cover of one of Richard Rohr's books titled Breathing Underwater. Annette, this is by one of your own community members, Sister Carol Bialek. She wrote as a very young adult, and it remains one of my favorite poems, and I cannot think of a better poem to take us into a contemplative practice and to move through a pandemic and come out better. Sister Bialek says this: I built my house by the sea, not by the sands, mind you, not on the shifting sand. And I built it of rock, a strong house by a strong sea. And we got well acquainted, the sea and I. Good neighbors. Not that we spoke much, we met in silences, respectful, keeping our distance, but looking our thoughts across the fence of sand. Always the fence of sand, our barrier. Always the sand between. And then one day, and I still don't know how it happened, the sea came. Without warning, without welcome even. Not sudden and swift, but a shifting across the sand like wine. Less like the flow of water than the flow of blood. Slow but coming. Slow but flowing like an open wound. And I thought of flight, and I thought of drowning, and I thought of death. And while I thought the sea crept higher until it reached my door. And I knew then there was neither flight nor death nor drowning. That when the sea comes calling, you stop being neighbors, well acquainted, friendly at a distance neighbors, and you give your house for a coral castle, and you learn to breathe underwater. Thank you, Sister Bialek. What a beautiful poem. Sometimes this is exactly what it feels like, how the pandemic has come. And the question remains, and only a contemplative practice can point us in this direction. How can we, together as a community, give our house for a coral castle and learn to breathe underwater? Well, let's give it a try. I invite you to get comfortable, take your shoes off, let your feet soak up the energy of the earth on this beautiful Friday morning. while I lower the lights. I just watched the movie Nomadland, and one of the things they do there is unplug, not without its challenges. So I invite you to unplug now. I'll set our timer for 20 minutes. I'll ring the bell to get us started, and then I'll ring the bell to bring us out of it. So I invite you to lower or close the eyes, whatever feels safe and good to you. And let's begin with the sound of the bell. Listen, listen. The sound of this beautiful bell returns us to our true home. As always, let's begin with diaphragmatic breathing to get grounded on this Friday morning. It's a fancy word for simply breathing in through the nose, out through the mouth, all the way into the lower tummy. Together as a community, inhale, open mouth, exhale. Beautiful. 2 more times. Inhale and exhale. One last time, bringing oxygen to the brain and the body, the best gift we could give it this weekend. Inhale and exhale. Take the attention to your own breath. Bring the attention to the body. Feel the energy of the earth as your feet touch the earth. And just take a moment to get grounded. God cannot be outdone in generosity. Moving up the body, we arrive at the cushion or chair, providing support. I invite you to just take a moment and look over the week and notice where you felt supported this week. And just lean into that support a little bit this morning. Relax the shoulders. Anything you've been holding on to this week, just let it roll off the shoulders and let the earth receive it. Let go, surrender, go over to the winning side. Good. I invite you to take your hands to your heart, focusing on where you found joy this week. Try and just name it in one word. Very, very gently place the word of joy next to your heart. And together as a community, let's breathe into that joy. Inhale and exhale. Release the hands and just notice what you feel. Good. Finally, we arrive at the forehead, the seat of intuition, the area between the eyebrows, the place that always tells the truth. And we focus on an intention for this morning. St. Ignatius encourages to ask God for what we truly desire in this moment, being courageous enough to ask God for something great and beautiful. God never tires of our calling on God. And let's just seal that intention with an inhale and an exhale. Continue to breathe on your own. Take the attentions to the breath, the sounds around you, and enjoy the miracle of a contemplative practice. Please continue. Gently bring your attention back to the room. If the eyes were closed, let's open the eyes. Let's circle the wrist, reverse the direction, bringing a little energy back into the body and little movement. Inhale, raise the arms up. Healthy spine, healthy body. Twist to the left, back to center, to the right, back to center. Inhale, stretch to the heavens. Exhale, release, shake it out. Wonderful job, everyone. Happy Friday. Here we are as a community. Annette Schmeling, I see you in the room. Sister Annette, let's hear it for the RSCJs. I mean, how much do we love that poem? So with that, breathing underwater, let's move to the Ignatian Examine, where we just look over the week and notice where God came alive for us. The opposite of addiction is connection. Connect, connect, connect. Please put in the comment box any area where you came alive this week. If you're new, say hello, welcome, tell us where you're from. And there have been a lot of new people this week, so even if you've introduced yourself before, put your name in the comment box so we can get to know one another. So as I looked over the week, God has come alive for me. Many of you know I absolutely love that EMDR training, and especially the new way that this EMDR, this somatic memory trauma-informed therapy can be used with people struggling with psychosis and schizophrenia is very exciting to me, especially with the population I work with here in Hollywood, where people many times struggle not only with single diagnosis or even dual diagnosis or triple diagnosis, a severe mental illness, substance abuse, and sometimes physical, such as Hep C, HIV, or other medical conditions. So I'm really excited to learn this new way of doing therapy and reimagining psychosis through the lens of trauma and dissociation. Secondly, of course, I love our flourishing and recovery community. And this week we've been reading from a wonderful book by Dr. Gerald May called Simply Sane. And it's been a really great recovery group for people living on the streets. And we've been able to do it on the patio with masks on and practice safe distancing. And then last, but by far not least, how much do I love Carol Bialak? That poem, Breathing Underwater, it resonates on so many levels. But I think when we go through difficult times, when we go through this pandemic, one of the things we want to keep alive is hope and our imagination. And my mantra, as I've read this poem many times, has been, how do we trade our home for a coral castle and learn to live underwater? I promise you, if you ponder that a little bit, you will have a beautiful weekend. Have a great weekend. Thank you all for tuning in throughout the week, for being part of this contemplative and action community located right here in the heart of Hollywood. God bless you. Have a great weekend. I can't wait to see you on Monday. Okay.